Welcome to the second demo called StackExchange of my project PowerShell moves data around. Let's prepare the prompt. We have to init the demo, importing some PowerShell modules, importing my own PowerShell functions, some database libraries, and setting up some connections to the Docker containers that I've started already. If you want to know more about that, watch the videos about installing this and the first demo. Okay, let's see what demo data we have here in Data StackExchange. These are XML files that you can download from StackExchange. You find the link in the repository. If we get the content of, let's say, the user's XML, we see that we have around 12,000 lines in there. Just have a brief look at the first lines. It's plain XML with a big users object, and then each row being an object. User -1, users 2. Okay, and at the end, the closing tag. So the file content is valid XML, but the file is very big, and we know that it's only users, and every user is on each individual line. And all lines starting with a row are valid XML as well. So we can just have a look at one line. So we have this now, and we can cast this to XML, and we have a row in there. Okay, and then we can have a look at the row, and here we are. We have the data. So one row, each row is XML element, and the individual columns, let's say, are all of type string. So there are no numbers, they're all only strings. So let's import these into the database. We can read this file line by line, collect, let's say, 1,000 lines or 100 lines, and then send them to the data with bulk insert. We've learned about that in the first demo. And we let the .NET part handle the type conversion, so we don't have to care about that. The .NET part knows, okay, the database column is of type integer or number. Let's convert this data. So let's put this here. I've created my own functions. They all called import, then the database type SQL for SQL Server, or Ora for Oracle, or PG for Postgres, and then table. So we can import that data to a table. We have to get the connection. I have saved the connection inside of an object. We have to say what table we want to import this to. And then we have some common parameters. They're all the same for all three database systems. So we have the path where's the user XML. We can truncate the tables just for convenience, so I can rerun this more often. And we have a batch size. I can run this with 1,000 or 100. 100 is here, so it's a little bit slower, and we can see better what's going on here. First run this, then run this, and you see it's uploading the content of the files to the database. And we can do the same for Oracle. So we're uploading the same data into the Oracle database. And we can upload it to the Postgres. You see, Postgres takes a little bit longer. Because we use a different technique. I have not yet implemented the fastest method to upload data. Okay, and because I have logging with the PS framework, I can have a look at the logging lines that show me the duration. Okay, SQL Server is fastest here. It depends a little bit on the Docker setup. We can also change the name of columns. When we look at the batches data, there we have a column. Let's import this. That's called date. All the other files have creation date, and the database has also creation date. And so I can have a column map where I say, okay, in the database it's creation date and take the date from the XML. And I could run this. I will skip this for the demo. And I have also export table commands to export that data. Let's talk about streaming data between databases. We now have the data inside of the database. Let's stream it between the databases. Let's start with the SQL Server and just move it from the SQL Server to the SQL Server. So my connection is the SQL instance with my credential. I have a source connection and a target connection. They're basically pointing to the same database. And what I can do now is I can select the number of rows I have in the table. I don't need this. It's just I need this if I want to have the progress bar. And I can get something that's called a data reader object. I use this connection and get a data reader for the users table. And now I can write the data to the target connection. And it transfers the data from the database, let's say, to the database from the users table to the import users table. And it's streaming. So with this batch size, it's fetching 100 rows and sending 100 rows. But, and that's more fun, I can stream from one database system to another database system. So I can get the source connection, get the Postgres connection to the Postgres instance and a connection to the SQL Server instance as the target. I also see how many rows do I have and get a data reader from Postgres and pass that data reader to the right SQL table for SQL Server. And now the rows are flying from Postgres to SQL Server, and all the type conversion is done by .NET classes. I don't have to take care of that. And I can take source Oracle and target Postgres or any other combination. I will not go into that. When you look at the file, we have a bonus how to import data into NoSQL databases. So basically creating PS custom objects. And then I have created a write MDB the MongoDB collection, and I can upload the data to this collection with .NET classes and anything else. And I can retrieve them as well. And I can also interact with MinIO. Sometimes the data is in MinIO and I can get this from MinIO. I will not show this here. So let's come to the key takeaways. If we have files with a suitable format, they can be streamed to database tables, while .NET takes care of the type conversion. And streaming from one database to another database or database system is no problem with PowerShell and the .NET classes. And data can also be uploaded to and retrieved from NoSQL databases or object storages. So that's for this demo. Thanks for watching.